Ladies and gentlemen, I have slightly changed the topic of my presentation. I will not speak about whole science communication in astronomy and astrophysics in our country, but only I will highlight the contribution of Institute of Astronomy. And at first I must note some most important events. It will be for you easier to understand than the whole history. At first it was Astronomical Observatory of University of Latvia that was founded in 1922. Then Latvian Astronomical Society was founded shortly after the Second World War. And the third is Astrophysical Observatory of Academy of Sciences that was founded in 1958. But as Ilmars Eglīts mentioned it already today, their origins are earlier. And then also other important events are Popular Science magazine Starry Sky, that is published already for more than 50 years, our two big telescopes, and then in 1987 Friedrich Zander Museum of Space Exploration was founded. I use those names of institutions that are they now, but historically they could have been different. And in 1997, Astronomical Observatory of University of Latvia was merged with Astrophysical Observatory of Academy of Sciences, and all together Institute of Astronomy, University of Latvia was established. Speaking about the events shortly after the Second World War, I would like to highlight the big expansion of a big number of publications of popular science books. For example, during less than 10 years, 9 popular science books were published. Why it was so? It was some part of Soviet ideology, or that Soviet ideology also wanted to say that it is important for socialistic society also to work on popularization of science. But our astronomers took it without ideology, just as a good opportunity to publish books for general publics. And also during this period, a lot of lectures by employees of both observatories were given also at schools and for general public. And but if we are speaking about the period before the Second World War, then at Astronomical Observatory of University of Latvia, scientists concentrated mostly on their scientific tasks. There was not so many efforts in science communication. Shortly after the war, in 1947, Latvian Astronomical Society was founded, and this society started to publish regularly astronomical calendars since 1953, and several expeditions to eclipse sites were organized, and also for a long time of period public observatory in Sigulda worked, which was remarkable. In this observatory people made observations of noctilucent clouds. At that time it was an important also scientific task. And these regular meetings of Astronomical Society, it was a really accurate source of information about space exploration, because in local mass media it was also possible to obtain information about achievements in Soviet space program and almost nothing about what happens in the Western world. And why I'm speaking about Astronomical Society? Because it was mostly under supervision of Astronomical Observatory until 1993, approximately. Of course, the board of society, there were scientists for both observatories. Let's say in newest times, in the last 20 years, society is already working more or less separately. Then about Popular Science magazine Starry Sky, it is really a very excellent thing. It is published since 1958 and managed to survive those severe economical changes that happened after the regaining independence in our country in 1991. And it is published quarterly, and we can count that for the moment there are 227 issues published, and it is really has given had a big influence to people interested in astronomy for several generations. And Astronomical Calendar joined to this magazine in 2001, and now a calendar is published as a supplement to this magazine. Then there was an important period when planetarium worked in Riga since 1964 to 1922, and also it was visited by a big number of people, and I suppose many of you have been there, those who are living here in Latvia. And again, this was, let's say, it was organized separately from Institute of Astronomy, but nevertheless scientists of both observatories also were giving lectures there at this planetarium. And as Ilmar Seglits already mentioned, it is now possible for visitors of Baldwin Observatory also enjoys these small planetarium demonstrations inside the cupola of Schmidt telescope. Naming of asteroids, of course, from scientific point of view, this is not so important how to name an asteroid, but for local society it is important. And from this point of view, there is already about 20 names of asteroids connected with the Latvian scientists and local places and so on. This first period started with investigations of asteroid orbits in the University of Latvia Astronomical Observatory, and then during the about 10 years period, those asteroids were named after Latvian place Riga, of course, where we are here, after Latvian scientist Dirikis Steins, after our folk song collector Krišjāns Barons, and some more scientists, Jānis Balods, who is present right here, and also one young girl, Agita. And then the second period started in 2008 when at Astrophysical Observatory Baltuanē several new asteroids were discovered, and they are named after Latvian places. Baldwin Observatory, you have been there yesterday, and Ikaunieks, Sanders and Blumbags. Both astronomical observatories have always been open to general public, and you already saw this graph showing how many visitors there are at the Astrophysical Observatory, about 2,000 persons per year, and approximately the same number of visitors visit Astronomical Tower at the roof of main building of University of Latvia that was reopened in 1986 and since then is working. And I must say that this Astronomical Tower, these events at the Astronomical Tower were mostly organized by Astronomical Observatory in previous period, but now these duties are fulfilled by Museum of University of Latvia. These activities, pupils, contests and summer camps, scientists of observatories are not much involved, but nevertheless they are. There was one period when pupil contests were organized by Astronomical Observatory, University of Latvia, and these astronomy summer camps, which are organized since 1991 by Latvian Astronomical Society. At these events, scientists of the Institute of Astronomy also regularly give lectures. And Friedrich Zander Museum was founded in Riga in 1987. It was a centenary of famous rocket scientist Friedrich Zander, who was born in Riga and lived at this house you can see on the picture. This museum also had some difficulties during economical changes after gaining independence. And let's say it was saved by Astronomical Observatory of University of Latvia. and later continued to develop on its own and became part of Old Museum of University of Latvia. This is also, let's say, important contribution of Institute of Astronomy. And I must especially mention one important person. It is director of our Institute of Astronomy until 2005, and also chief editor of Starry Sky magazine until the same date. A very influential person in science communication in Latvia, Artūrs Valklovs-Grinhovs, who not only wrote many articles about astronomy and space research itself, but always defended the place and the role of astronomy research in our Latvian science. And we are here in the building of Latvian Academy of Sciences, and there is a yearly science communication prize named after Artūrs Valklovs, and several employees of Institute of Astronomy also have received this prize. It's a new way science communication, scientific cafes, at least in Latvian University they are held since 2004. And also many of these cafes are video recorded and recordings are available online. And many scientists in Institute of Astronomy have taken part in these scientific cafes. Let's say in short that this is all. And in conclusion, I want to say that really science communication has been an important part of educational activities in Institute of Astronomy for nearly 70 years. And what has done popular science books and articles, many lectures, planetariums, sky demonstrations, naming of asteroids, many visitors, and other different science communication events. And I must highlight that all these activities would not be possible without the high-level scientific background of astronomers, their good communication skills, and of course willingness to promote astronomy. Thank you for the attention.